The Tab A series often walks the line between value for money and e-waste. So how has the 2021 Tab A8 fared? Just as I'd expect from Samsung, the display is surprisingly decent for the price point. It is a TFT though, so you lose a ton of brightness from any decent angle, but it generally won't be a problem. It's still bright enough for basically any indoor use, but not especially vibrant, especially if you're coming from an OLED. The big 1920 by 1200 10.5 inch display feels perfect for media consumption though, with its 16 by 10 aspect ratio and selfie camera location really driving the point home. This thing will be most comfortable in landscape mode. That selfie camera quality is also not as bad as expected. While it's definitely not sharp, it does a decent job for video calls, especially since it's properly located, keeping your eyes in a more natural position, unlike many other tablets. With its reasonable quality also comes the ability to use Face Unlock, an underrated feature. It won't be as reliable in the dark like the old iris scanner, but it was still fairly accurate in a reasonable range of environments, and I felt myself really appreciating when it did work. Overall device performance wasn't bad, but like a lot of budget tablets, you really need to temper your expectations, be patient, and find the correct workloads. While the Unisoc T618 processor and 7040 mAh battery are fine, storage and RAM combinations are something to pay closer attention to. This model has 64 gigs of onboard storage paired with 4 gigs of RAM, but it can get as low as 32 gigs of storage and only 2 gigs of RAM. I would avoid anything less than 4 personally, as anything less would definitely be stepping into e-waste territory. With that though, this model provided all the grunt I needed for watching videos, social media, and other aimless scrolling, sometimes even at the same time. I was surprised that gaming was reasonable too, able to crank games like Arknights and Pokemon Unite, but I mostly fall back on my old reliables, like KOTOR and emulation, mainly SNES and Scum point-and-click adventures. A slight downside to those point-and-click games on the A8 though is the lack of S Pen support. With no digitizer hardware included, only the old-school capacitive pens will work. The other big productivity feature, DeX, is also not available here, really highlighting the budget part of the A series. But its features certainly aren't gutted by any means. Software is actually pretty great. Yeah, we have all the usual Samsung bloat, but that can be removed pretty easily with the Android Debloater tool. I'll leave a link to my video for using that. But we also have some nice lab features to help drag some apps kicking and screaming into proper tablet format. I also really like the bottom dock to help swap between apps, and all the sleek notification and security settings modern Android provides. We're currently running One UI 5.0 Android 13. A budget tab getting this with a reasonable amount of speed is an absolute testament to Samsung's software support turnaround in the past few years. The party is over for the A8 though, as it's not scheduled for any further major Android updates, but it will still get security patches for a little while yet. It's not just the updates where Samsung did well too, with the overall build quality being pretty great. Most of the body is made from aluminium, making it feel solid and light, something I actually prefer compared to the glass sandwiches we see for the so-called premium devices. Some parts do feel a touch cheap though, with a few edges not lining up perfectly, causing some slightly sharp surfaces when running your fingers along some edges, but you do get used to it. Around those edges are also 4 speakers, giving you reliable audio no matter how you hold your tablet. They get decently loud and deliver okay sound, but it can feel a bit hollow. Not something I generally noticed when watching videos though. But if you don't like it, we do get a bonus headphone jack. Samsung continues to make me feel uncomfortable with their awkward placement of it on budget devices though. So does the A8 represent value or e-waste? Assuming you go with a model of at least 4 gigs of RAM, I would definitely put this in the value category. But as always, it depends what you want to use it for, and you temper those expectations. I found this absolutely perfect for watching videos, reading, scrolling, and some light occasional gaming. If you're expecting more than that, you might have to look a bit higher than an A series device though, especially if you're attached to DeX or the S Pen.